Hello and welcome to the Super Basement Bro Show. I'm sorry, I can't contain my excitement. I'm not going to go through the whole intro.
I
just
want to say hi before I don't speak the rest of this podcast.
Hasten's here, Tanner's here. I'm Connor. We just lost our mind, especially me and Tanner. As you can tell, my voice is all but gone. Banjo Kazooie is in freaking Smash Bros, dude. Quick, what the heck?
The way this direct started out was not super strong.
Yeah,
but it finished off so good.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Holy crap! We got two huge announcements.
We got a sequel announcement to potentially my favorite game of all time, freaking Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
getting a
Luigi's
sequel.
Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion.
That's what you guys were excited about.
Yeah.
Oh no! So we got So that was a little. We didn't get too much, but I want to just talk about Banjo real quick.
Yeah,
that's
so
why
big.
Our voice is gone. Like, this is huge. This is big news because this is Microsoft and Nintendo working together.
So it came true. The Xbox cross Nintendo actually happened.
Because Banjo Kazooie.
Everyone was like theorizing this weekend. There was like Microsoft tweeted out like the places you need to be for Xbox, and Nintendo was on their schedule. And everyone was like, "Why the heck? Like they don't have any Xbox games at Nintendo." So everyone was curious, and it turns out it's because freaking Banjo Kazooie is in
my
Smash.
gosh! Like
this opens the door so much. We were saying this right after it ended. Because now all the DLC characters so far have been third party, which is huge. And Banjo now opens the door to Western characters because he's the first American-made
and not just Western
unless you count like King K. Rool or whatever.
Like also even cross console. I mean, because think about it, even somebody like as stupid as it sounds like Kratos could potentially because we have an Xbox.
I'd buy Kratos, dude. That'd be sick.
That would be insane.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, Banjo Kazooie hasn't been on a Nintendo console since the Nintendo 64.
Honestly, like
the Nintendo 64.
I feel like we say this so many times
if
we say this so many times when crazy characters are announced, but this really opens the door even more so for anybody. Because think about it, like Cloud. People are always point out Cloud has never been on a Nintendo console. Like his Final Fantasy games that he's in, he's not. None of them are on Nintendo. I don't think. Or at least, maybe now they are, but they didn't used to be. Persona Joker never been on a Persona 5 is not on Nintendo, which is crazy. He's a character that has only been on PlayStation. In
even Bayonetta
Smash.
Before her new games, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, she was multi-platform.
Yeah.
So like, it's just crazy because. Honestly, I would have laughed at the idea of Kratos being in Smash,
but not anymore.
A few months ago. Honestly,
you got
anybody's
Snake,
possible.
You got freaking Snake, Cloud, Bayonetta. You got all these really crazy human characters. You know, like
this just goes to prove to me even more so that Sakurai freaking cares about who the audience wants because we're going to mention this in a little bit.
Sakurai said Nintendo picked the characters.
Yeah,
that means Nintendo
knows
picked Banjo.
Yeah, which is crazy. Banjo. They picked who they knew audiences wanted. And here's the thing:
like, guys are completely skipping over the hero.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Is we failed to mention. We'll get to that.
We'll go back to the beginning of the direct.
But yeah, the hero was revealed from Dragon Quest. And even though he's not necessarily our cup of tea, I tell you what, there are so many audiences outside of America who are going nuts for him.
In Japan, that was their Banjo.
Exactly.
Because in Japan, Banjo Kazooie is not nearly as popular.
Yeah. Like that is
their Dragon Quest that they were like no way. So we got that for Banjo, which was sick. And I'm just saying the trailer was perfect.
That was amazing. They paid homage to the King K. Rool reveal trailer, and with the fake out with King DDD. Except for this time they did Duck Hunt, and people have been theorizing and joking like make Banjo a echo to Duck Hunt if nothing else. And so they even referenced that like. Oh my gosh, we'll go through a step by step of the trailer a little later, but let's try it. We'll try to get back on track here. I do want to mention also too, Breath of the Wild freaking sequel. Are you kidding me?
We got an announcement.
Are you
of Breath
kidding
of the
me,
Wild
dude?
sequel? No, so not DLC, not a spin-off, not nothing. A sequel. The next mainline Zelda game.
Oh my gosh.
The next mainline Zelda game is Breath of the Wild 2.
That's insane.
The first
I can't believe we already got an announcement.
The first sequel to any Zelda game.
And I mean, I think
like
there's been
mainline in recent
like
history.
direct sequel in terms of like if it's called Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna do like it's gonna be called Breath of the Mountain.
Well, yeah, but like because I think the closest game was maybe Skyward Sword to Twilight Princess as far as like gameplay look and feel.
Well, I think unless you count like the handheld games because there's like Oracle Seasons, Oracle Ages.
Sure, but
also back in the day there was Ocarina of Time and then Majora's Mask is like the same
sequel.
Engine. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Because same with Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess. So we're getting a sequel to arguably one of the best games of all time. Didn't it win Game of the Year?
Oh yeah, it won tons of Game of the
Year.
It's I'm not trying to shiz on you guys here.
Yeah.
but it's just so far out.
Well,
it could literally be on the next console
for sure.
for Nintendo.
Here's
I mean?
the
It did say though at the end on active development for the Nintendo Switch,
Yeah.
so it will be on the Switch.
I will say,
but
the only
but the
reason
thing
why...
is too is they also said that when Breath of the Wild was announced for the Wii U.
I just know how you guys.
and
I
then
don't
it
want
came
you to
to
get too excited because I've been waiting for Skyrim for
Yeah.
12 years.
Well, here's
and like
this is. I was gonna bring
You're
that
totally
up.
right.
The
This
reason
game, I think this game
I
is
felt the
early as-
disappointment of watching these
waiting
conferences
for a
and hearing
game.
nothing.
Well,
and
we
nothing,
mentioned this.
and nothing
We
for
mentioned
years.
this real quick. Is the reason I don't agree with that, because I do agree that, like with Elder Scrolls, we got an announcement, but the only reason they announced Elder Scrolls is so we knew they were still working on it, because they wanted to let us know that they didn't abandon it. You know what I'm saying? Because it had been so long with nothing. They wanted to just tell us. If it was up to them, they wouldn't have told us that they wouldn't have released a trailer, because it's after Starfield.
If there's here's one thing about Nintendo is they're usually really good about making sure they're honest with their audience. As we saw today in the Direct, Animal Crossing has been delayed out of 2019,
which is
and it's disappointing for a lot of people, I'm sure. But they were very honest and forward about it. Mm-hmm. They're like, "Hey, sorry,
they don't just delay it.
We need more time." They don't do the thing where it's like, we haven't heard about this game for a long time. Where did it happen? Oh, it just got delayed and they didn't even say anything. Mm-hmm. There's so many games nowadays where developers don't say that it got delayed and they just kind of avoid it, and then it shows up at the next E3.
And not just that. One thing I respect Nintendo for, which you were a little upset about, is we didn't get an official release date for Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Which the only reason I understand that is because I'd rather have them not announce the release date and then have them delay it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they're not announcing the release date because they don't have a definitive date that they know.
And it's totally fine, because the thing is too is knowing Nintendo, they're gonna have a direct. They can have a direct anytime.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure they'll have a direct in September or August, and they'll be like, "Hey, guess what?
It
comes out next month."
Yeah, I guarantee you, give it 2 or even like a month, we're gonna get another direct. I mean, take into account last year, right? Granted, though, we had Smash, but we had like 3 directs towards the end of the year. 3 different.
I think Nintendo's even getting better about waiting to put the release date on something until they know for sure. Last year with Smash, for example, they put 2018 on the first trailer, but didn't give it an exact date. They waited till E3 to be like, okay, we have a definitive date now, because we know we're gonna actually hit it. Instead of being like putting an exact date and then inevitably setting up people for disappointment when it gets delayed.
And so like that's a little disappointing. Granted, though, it still says 2019. Which is really hopeful to me. And didn't it say
it's
September?
It just said 2019. I'm imagining Luigi's Mansion 3 will be October or September.
It'll be later.
Which I'm totally fine with. I'm so pumped for that game. We'll get to that a little later too, but it looks 10 times better than it even did the first time we saw it.
Oh my gosh, it looked
like you can see like the creases in his overalls and stuff.
And there's just a couple complaints I have about it, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. So let's go. Let's start from the beginning. Yeah. So this
real quick, Connor got a prediction correct. Connor's prediction about the Nintendo
I freaking nailed it too.
Yeah.
The only thing I got wrong was, and I'm so glad I got it wrong, is I thought it was going to be Steve instead of Banjo. Yeah. I just thought realistically, but holy frick, I wanted Banjo, and so I'm so happy it was Banjo. Oh, yeah. But I predicted Eric would start it, and then end it with the final character. So we did get 2 reveals.
Got it nailed on. So you've got technically the Xbox.
I'm freaking so pumped about that. And I will say this real fast. I just want to get your guys' baseline thoughts real fast before we go step by step. For me, honestly, I feel like this E3 has been kind of so-so. You know, it hasn't been like the best E3.
I don't know.
But this moment in Nintendo now has made E3 for me.
For me,
like this is the best conference for me, purely because of Banjo and Breath of the Wild 2 and Luigi's Mansion 3.
For me, this has actually been one of the better E3s in my opinion. Because we got a lot of announcements for next year. You know, like this has been one of the classic E3s, because E3 to me isn't a conference that they announce games for this year and stuff about this year. It's usually about next year anyway. And that's what I expect. And I actually disagree, because we got like Halo Infinite, we got Borderlands 3 news, we got all the
But
games
it's all
that
next year. That's the problem.
that's what I mean. And then look at Nintendo's even.
I mean, and that's the thing is like even if you look at Nintendo, as pumped as as excited as I am and as pumped as this conference made me, it was my favorite by far. Breath of the Wild, as Hasten said, probably years away.
Oh, easy.
We're talking,
easy. But not just Breath of the Wild, but you look at something they didn't even mention, which is Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Animal Crossing got
the reason they didn't mention it is probably because it's even more far off than Breath of the Wild 2, because
yeah.
since they had to remake it.
Well, yeah,
Because
Retro is starting over with
it's starting
it.
over. So
I know,
it's
it's
probably
like,
got another
are we going to
3
get Breath of the
years.
Wild 2 before we get another Metroid? That's pretty crazy.
I think so. They didn't even talk about Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah,
I doubt we're going to get it before Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised.
If we did, I imagine in the next couple months we're going to get its own direct.
I really wish we would have recorded our reactions to that thing because, like,
we were screaming.
Don't get me wrong, like,
bloody murder.
The conference started okay, like with the Dragon Quest stuff and Luigi's Mansion 3. It was like, okay, this is all right. And then it went through a big lull in the middle. And then all of a sudden, like, we just lost our freaking mind.
Like I said, it was a very
holy crap
for the first watch, but it ended so strong. Like, if they wouldn't have ended it that way, I would have said it was an okay conference.
Yeah,
because we got a new Smash character, and then
Luigi's Mansion 3,
Animal
Animal
Crossing.
Crossing. It's just kind of, it would be a mediocre.
It was like,
conference.
okay.
Now it's like, for me personally, in my interest, this is a 10 out of 10.
Oh my gosh, because like they cannot deny, like Breath of the Wild, easy, one of the best games of all time. You know, Banjo Kazooie, one of the most anticipated characters of all time in Smash. You know, and one of the most beloved characters.
Banjo, arguably the most anticipated.
The most wanted character ever. Besides the Dragon
Besides
Quest.
the ones that have all been added.
Exactly. Or even the Dragon Quest character. Now we got 2 of the most anticipated characters, of course.
For different audiences.
Like, I honestly wouldn't care who else they release for the DLC. They could release tons of them.
So bad. Because for me, this is the worst conference.
So I wanted to say that. I want to get Hasten's opinion.
Destroyed compared to
I still agree. I actually still agree that Xbox One.
Because this, I've just never grown up with Nintendo.
You're
starting to get into it now.
Yeah.
But I've never grown up with Nintendo. Even Smash, I've played probably 50, 60 hours of Smash, and I was like, okay, that's cool, I guess. But I have to buy these.
Have you ever played Breath of the Wild?
I tried. I couldn't get into it.
How?
I just wasn't.
Because you love Skyrim.
I have it.
It's
and I'm
Skyrim,
going to
but Nintendo's.
I think it's just different strokes, different audiences.
True. I don't know though.
Like the thing is like I freaking adore Breath of the Wild. For me, I would argue Breath of the Wild could be the best game of all time in my opinion, or my favorite game of all time in terms of
easily
like,
one
what
of
it
the
is.
best.
At least one, if not, yeah. But I can easily see how someone,
the best Zelda game.
The thing is though is I could also see someone not liking it though, especially if they didn't grow up with Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if you grew up with Nintendo in your childhood, you easily connect to that game. But if you didn't, I can.
But I don't know because like
Breath of the Wild, for me, like Xbox One, and then you have like Square Enix, Ubisoft was okay. It wasn't.
I thought Ubisoft was pretty awful.
And then you had like, the thing with Ubisoft is they had the Watch Dogs Legion, which was okay.
You liked Ubisoft's conference?
I thought it was okay with Watch Dogs Legion.
But you liked it better than Nintendo?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Really?
There was nothing in here.
But you're a fan of Smash.
What am I interested in here?
You're a fan of Smash.
It's just 2 characters. That's the thing for you guys.
Yeah, for
you guys
us,
are such hardcore fans of Smash. For me, I haven't even played or bought the past 2 DLC.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I haven't cared about them because I mean it's just 2 characters that are coming out within 8 months.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I can see that. Yeah,
and then Legend of Zelda, I never played. I couldn't get into it.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't fun.
I think if you tried to play Breath of the Wild again, and
I
gave
can
it a
try
chance,
it again.
I'll tell you, Hasten, I'll tell you, I played Breath of the Wild for the first time on our family Switch. And I didn't like it because the first couple hours you're on the Great Plateau. It's the smallest.
I'm off of the Great Plateau.
So you got pretty far into it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll save this. This conversation.
Once you get off that, it gets 10 times better.
That's the thing. I couldn't get into that. And then what did they start out with? Oh, it's a Smash character.
Luigi's Mansion.
And then from the whole middle was just crap I don't care about. That I'm sure the Asians over in the Asia market care about like a crazy amount. And there was nothing in the middle there. Like the biggest thing for me in this whole conference was
Witcher.
Witcher was big
because I want to still play Witcher. It's another game. Witcher's another game I couldn't really get into.
So exactly, me neither. Honestly, I want to say that too. This is reason to play Witcher because when I didn't want to play it on Xbox One because it's one of those games that I don't want to sit down and invest my time in. Yeah. But if I can take it on the go,
Xbox,
oh man,
like as a company they did more than Nintendo felt like they did because they announced more stuff with their Game Pass. They announced xCloud. They announced their next console. They announced 34 games.
Well, since you asked that,
what I will say is we're gonna do an episode with all of us probably at the end of this week when E3's over, kind of discussing E3 overall and our thoughts and like where we'd kind of rank stuff. I would actually agree in terms of a press conference, in terms of general audience appeal. I think Xbox had more for sure. I think my personal, it's a personal thing, favorite thing. This was my favorite by far, personally.
I don't think
it was the best conference.
That's where I agree with Hasten. Is out of E3, easily Nintendo and Xbox are my favorite, right?
Yeah.
But I think who won E3, who did the best was easily Xbox for me, because the sheer amount of
Square
Enix
stuff is up there too.
Yeah,
this is
Final Fantasy 7.
This is where I disagree with you, because that is something that's, if you really think about it, that's like our Nintendo for us. That's how I felt with Square Enix. Square Enix was trash besides Avengers. Because all I'm saying is the Final Fantasy is a remake.
Did you watch the gameplay?
Yeah, it's a remake.
It looks amazing.
It's not a remake though.
But it's a remaster.
It's a complete remake.
But
it's a new game.
But it doesn't matter
because the Final Fantasy 7 was turn-based.
But here's what upsetting.
It wasn't even like.
Here's what's upsetting for me is it's a remake, which I know it's a complete remake, but it's also episode based. And I've never really been into Final Fantasy. I've played Final Fantasy before.
That's it. I just want to play as Cloud. That's my big.
So that he looks awesome. Was not interesting to me whatsoever.
Regardless,
the only thing is, Avengers was good, and then Ubisoft I watched none of it.
Ubisoft was the worst for me.
So in my opinion, Ubisoft and Square Enix could have not been there, and I wouldn't have cared. If they only showed Avengers, that's the only thing. Is if they only showed Avengers, that would have been great.
Well, real fast, since this is the Nintendo one, let's go through Nintendo. We'll go through this direct.
Yeah.
We'll do an episode where we go through and discuss E3 as a whole later. But let's start out by where the conference started. We started out Smash Bros. Right away, which is exactly what I predicted. We got
I was surprised
an awesome trailer. A really cool trailer. It started and I was like, are they going to add stuff to World of Light? I was super confused. But also very interested.
I think they are. That's why
I don't necessily think so.
I think that's why the trailer involved that, because obviously the characters comes with huge updates.
With updates, yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome. I would love that. A lot of people would love that. Even probably Hasten because he beat World of Light, right?
Yeah.
Almost. I still got to beat that last.
Boss.
I'm struggling against him.
But we got the hero announcement alongside like a ton of other Dragon Quest characters as alts. I'm assuming alternate skins or echoes. I'm not sure. It wasn't very clear.
Maybe one echo. Who knows?
Judging solely off of what we saw gameplay wise of Eridic, and the hero or whatever, doesn't seem the most appealing to me. He seems pretty generic.
It does not seem another sword fighter.
It doesn't.
So many.
He does not seem very. What's the word? Like
distinguished, unique,
different.
Yeah.
Like he's not unique.
Yeah.
As a character, he literally looks like a mix of Robin and Zelda.
Yeah, even one of his moves, I noticed he shot the fire thing. It was just like Robin's.
Yeah. And then he
had that weird thing where he changed abilities.
That was cool.
See, that was cool.
But they do that. They already have that with the Fire Emblem character.
And Shulk.
Shulk, yeah.
So I think this was. I'm hyped for it because I just love new characters in Smash.
But it wasn't.
I wasn't like.
Wasn't anything.
In the moment, I was kind of slightly disappointed,
especially before they announced Banjo.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, is it happened. As soon as I saw the horse, I'm like, it's the Dragon Quest guy, and I was kind of disappointed because I was like, great, that means the leak was real. Like, because the guy predicted Joker, then Eridic, and then it was.
Well, granted, he said Eridic, and it wasn't.
Yeah, so
Eridic was the alt.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the hero.
But at first, I was very disappointed because I was like, that means we know all the rest of the leaks.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we got Banjo, though, that was all deconfirmed, which is awesome.
The leak could very well be still real, and they switched it from Steve.
It's possible. Yeah, totally. Because maybe they're like, people want Banjo. Yeah. So
I was wrong when I said my favorite part of the show was Witcher, because it was
the Bowser
came out. That was freaking hilarious.
That was hilarious.
That was really hilarious.
Yeah, and so next we got our first appearance of Doug Bowser, the new president of Nintendo America, coming out. And of course they did a Bowser pun. To surprise
they accepted the meme.
Hey, Parker, can you do me a favor? Can you take this out and put it in the other room? My notifications are going off like crazy right now.
Not turn them off?
Well, I could, but I don't want to have to do it. But Doug Bowser came out, his first appearance as the president of Nintendo America on an E3 stage, which is cool. I think he did good. And that was such a cheesy, corny Nintendo moment. I loved it. You know, that's classic so Nintendo with the Bowser stuff. I'm glad they're acknowledging that his name is Bowser. It's funny.
Yeah.
Then we go right into Luigi's Mansion 3. Let's kind of dive into that. I think it looks awesome.
Oh yeah,
I think it looks amazing. I think we both probably have some of the same.
So for me, it looks like how I expected it to look, but not how I wanted it to look. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because when we saw the original trailer, I immediately noticed it's more similar to Dark Moon.
Yeah.
More similar than the original. Which one of my biggest complaints, I'll go off the bat, is we saw one type of ghost, which was a blue ghost.
That was very disappointing.
Which I really, really hope we have more, because even Dark Moon
has King Boo.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as like the minions, the small
the
ghosts.
minions ghosts.
There was literally a blue, and they would have hats or a little bit different. But like, I hope that they're not thinking, oh, the difference is one has a shield.
One of the biggest things people have wanted, including us, is the portrait ghost return, and we did see a couple ghosts that look different, but they could just be bosses like they had in Dark Moon.
And one thing is, one thing that I'm upset that they're pushing away from is the scariness. Because Luigi's Mansion 1 is, like, scary. The portrait ghosts are more human than anything. And the ghosts themselves are more rounded and scary looking. Instead of, like, the long, like, almost Ghostbusters.
They've made them more childlike, the ghosts, for sure.
They almost look like Casper. You know what I'm saying? Like a Casper-esque ghost. Yeah. Instead of a Ghostbusters ghost, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that, and I can see that too. I'm still holding out hope that it's going to be more in line with the original. One thing that worried me a lot was we got the reveal of EGAD, which is awesome. I'm excited. But it was in the lab, and I worry that it's going to be mission-based like Dark Moon, because that was the worst part of Dark Moon, is that it's mission-based.
They did say different levels of the hotel.
Yeah, I'm really hoping it's not that way. I hope it's open world.
If they were, then
non-linear.
It would be a really big disappointment, and it would be hard because like I still haven't.
It's not non-linear.
I still haven't finished Dark Moon, and it's just because like it's not the same experience. You know, there's something special about the first one. You know, like I have both Dark Moon and the original on 3DS, and I went back and beat the original and never got close.
I think part of the original's appeal for us is nostalgia, and then also though just like the music is the best.
Oh, who made the music?
I can't remember.
They got to bring him back.
Yeah, I really hope they do.
He wasn't.
The music that was playing during this though sounded more Dark Moon-esque, which the Dark Moon has a good theme. But for the most part, it's like the same song over and over. You know,
which granted, Luigi's Mansion 1 has that.
True,
but.
I'm excited for it. I'm day one gonna get it.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited.
I liked we saw like a lot of new gadgets.
Oh, we also multiplayer.
Was that multiplayer?
Yeah, 2019.
We got an announcement of Luigi's gonna actually be in it.
Co-op for the story mode it looks like, and then also there's a whole new multiplayer mode. Hasten, does this pique your interest at all? This is what I was curious about.
I mean, I'll play it with you guys, I guess, when we're over here. It's another thing, like, no.
Like, you won't get it yourself, you don't think?
No, I'm not buying Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah. I mean,
I've never played 1 or 2. I mean, I guess...
You wouldn't
and it doesn't seem to appeal to me either. You know what I mean?
And if you did, I think you should play number 1. Get in.
Well, and also, the thing is, though, is with Luigi's Mansion, I don't think you'd need to play them.
No, they're not, like, linear.
Yeah, you could play whatever. But that's one thing I was curious about. I wonder how many people will jump on board if they've never played a Luigi's Mansion before.
Really cool is, I'm really glad we saw King Boo. Because that was in the original teaser, I remember I watched a trailer analysis where somebody's like, "Oh, King Boo's crown's on the top."
Yeah,
I'm really glad to see that. And did you see? He looks more like the first game. He looks scary.
Yeah, he looks scary.
They added back the 2 buck teeth, which is something that I've tried to. I think I've mentioned before. Is Boo's. They kind of like dumbed down their teeth to where they didn't have these 2 long ones right here.
Yeah.
They added it back for King Boo, which looks sick. He looks super scary. He's big again. I'm glad to see that they're accepting that he's Luigi's arch villain,
yeah, for sure. Also, we got the confirmation finally that it is just called Luigi's Mansion 3, because if you remember on the trailer last year, it said Luigi's Mansion 3 working title, like in parentheses, because like they weren't decided if that was the title, but it sounds like they just stuck with it.
I mean, that's good.
I'm glad.
We still could potentially get a subtitle because we still don't have a release date.
Yeah, I'm hoping it is just Luigi's Mansion 3, because that's fine.
Me too. And then we saw that Ghost Pup's back, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Polterpup.
It looks like the leaks were true that he kind of goes on vacation with Mario.
With everyone,
and then they get caught.
His first Peach appearance in Luigi's Mansion, and which is cool. And I'm super excited for it. I'm holding out hope that it's more in line with the first one.
And of course
And honestly, the thing is like I want it to be like the first one, but if it's somewhat more like it'll still be good.
As long as it's not level based, like.
Yeah,
I'll still enjoy it if it's level based, but less so.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like this.
One thing I'll mention real quick is why I'm holding out hope for it is because that was going to be a disappointment. I feel like we didn't see much of it.
Yeah,
we saw some gadgets, but as far as gameplay, we saw a lot of like cinematics. And then just a bit whenever they were showing the gadgets.
I was very surprised at how little we saw of it, actually. Yeah. I thought they would kind of take a deep dive into it.
And they didn't really go into depth about, like...
I loved the way they did it, though, with, like, the Tower of Terror-esque voice and, like, the hotel. That was cool. And I am looking forward to the multiplayer stuff. I think it'll be interesting and unique.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it was, like, 8 players, too.
Yeah, it's crazy, which is cool. I'm glad Nintendo's adding... I feel like there's always been this weird stigma to make games 4-player, which it's like, why? You can make them whatever you want. Like, let's do more. Because it used to be because consoles only had 4 ports.
4 ports.
You know,
now they can just connect to 1,000 controllers.
Exactly. So it's like, let's make more games that are.
I think
a ton of players.
At least I don't know. Actually, I've never connected more than 4 on an Xbox.
That's true. I guess I haven't either. Good point.
I don't think it would be able to do anything. I'm sure you could connect it, but I don't think it would do anything.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, let's make more games that are, like, 8 players.
No, yeah, I know.
Because it made it sound like it's local 8-player like that, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, the only other game I know that does that is Smash.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm pumped for it. I'm excited.
I mean, and of course, I really hope that they hold its own direct, kind of like they have with Pokemon in the past, they have with Super Mario Maker. I hope we get a Luigi's Mansion 3 Direct in the next coming months, because it's obviously this year.
Yeah, we'll see it again.
It'd be sick. I mean, I'd love to go more into detail about the actual game itself, because he kind of went into depth about, like, why Luigi's here, but he wasn't, like, and explore new portrait ghosts, and, you know.
There's a few omissions that I'm a little worried about.
I really hope portrait ghosts, because that adds so much to the game.
It does.
Without something so little that adds so much.
Yeah, it's like this. It's like we were just saying, like, for me, the original Luigi's Mansion is like a 10 out of 10 for me because I love it, nostalgia and everything.
Nostalgia probably plays in, like,
it's like Dark Moon for me is like an 8 out of 10. Like, I really like
Dark
it.
Moon was really fun.
It's fun, but it's not.
Well, and the only reason I haven't been able to beat it or get too much into it is because for me the level based is a big turn off, and then without the portrait ghost, it makes it a little.
Exactly. So
less wanting to.
If Luigi's Mansion 3 was the same way with like mission structure and no portrait ghosts, it would probably be like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, and I'd still like it, and I'd probably beat this one, but like
I wouldn't like it like I do the first one.
Yeah, it wouldn't be one that I always go back and I feel like I want to play every Halloween. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll move on though. Next we had a Dark Crystal from Netflix game reveal.
It looked really weird.
Yeah, what did you guys?
What's a clicker
think
game?
Of this? Yeah, I noticed that. It's like it looked like Mario plus Rabbids. Did this pique your guys' interest at all?
No. The next most of these won't pique our interest, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Then we got Link's Awakening, which is cool.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh wow, this is cool. It looks like we're watching the Nintendo live stream for Treehouse, and it looks like the area is themed after Luigi's Mansion, which
they might
is awesome
have gameplay right now. It looks like people are playing it.
Yeah. Oh, this is way cool.
Oh, dang.
The set is awesome. Nintendo is always so good at this. The first year. A few years ago, they did Breath of the Wild, then Odyssey, now Smash, then Smash Bros. And now it looks like Luigi's Mansion. Everyone thought it was going to be Animal Crossing, but since it's delayed...
Oh, I think it is gameplay. I think they're showing gameplay. Look, that's like a straight-up cutscene.
Yeah.
Dang,
next up, though, we had Link's Awakening from Zelda. This game looks very cute, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll play it or buy it, maybe if it ever gets cheap.
There's the thing that you said people have been asking for was... Link's, you could build your own dungeon.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, that was huge. There was like a dungeon maker mode in this, which that is a big deal because everyone's been, since Mario Maker, everyone's been like, let's get a Zelda Maker. You know, they want Metroid Maker and all the Nintendo makers. So that'd be a cool series. That looks cool.
They're like, they release a game where it's like, get your game degree maker, and then you get your game degree, and it's like, now make game maker, and then you're like, oh, Nintendo make our games for us. Now pay $60 for the game you made.
Yeah, Nintendo's next E3 conference is like, we don't have any games to show because you're going to buy all of them. You're going to make all of them. You're going to make all of our games.
E3s with Nintendo's, they're like, we can't wait to see what you guys make.
Developers are starting to cost a lot, and you guys need to make the game for us.
Make the game for us. And
Nintendo's going under.
And then buy it for $60.
You guys don't like what they make? Well, make it yourself.
Yeah, dang it. You don't complain. But that got a release date finally, September 20th. That's cool. Then we got Trials of Mana. Have no idea. Don't care. Witcher on Switch. That was a big deal. You guys think you'll play it there?
Yeah. I'll probably play it on Switch more.
If I can get it for an insane cheap price.
Yeah. Are we all betting that this will be 60?
Oh,
yeah, we were saying, we were like, it's gonna be 60.
Yeah.
You can get this game on everything else that plays better. I'm sure it plays better and looks better for less than that. Like
probably
$7. Like,
and it is
when Steam has their sales. That's how I got it. I got it on Steam when they had their sale for like literally like $3 or $4.
Yeah.
Like it was cheap.
Yeah, me and Tanner even like a year after it came out got it cheap on Black Friday for like $20. When do you have to take off?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay.
So we might want to.
All right. So we're going to try to we'll try to get through this. So that's the Witcher Complete Edition. Comes with all the DLC. Then we got Fire Emblem 3 Houses releasing July 26th. That's cool for people that like that series. Then we got a cool Resident Evil trailer that was also kind of weird.
Resident Evil 6.
It announced Resident Evil 5 and 6 Switch, which I'm excited for. I know those two are co-op and whatnot, so that's cool. Then No More Heroes. Not really that interested. Let's see here. Then we go on to Contra, which looked freaking weird. I'm a big fan of
You guys didn't even notice it was Contra.
I didn't even know it was Contra.
You're all on your phones and it was like, Contra.
Yeah,
okay.
This was the point in the conference where I totally zoned out. And I was just like, what is even happening anymore? But,
it was a solid probably 15 minutes of just like stuff I didn't care about.
15 minutes right in the middle, I was almost asleep. But
almost to all the conference I didn't care about. But
yeah.
That's me.
True. For you, yeah. This Contra game though looks extremely weird. I don't know if it's just me, but I grew up with like the original Contra on the
I've
NES
never played a
stuff,
Contra.
and they're fun. They're like just a co-op shooter, like you just run and shoot with one other player. But this looks totally different. I'm not really into it. But then that's coming September 24th. We finally got a release date for Daemon X Machina, September 13th this year. I'm not interested in this game. Apparently, they released a demo a couple months ago, and people said it was pretty awful, which is unfortunate for them. But finally gets a release date, so we'll see how it comes out in reviews. Panzer Dragon. This game looked really slow. I don't know what was with this game. It was
very slow. It was like, it kept dragging on.
Yeah, and they just it's like the dragon's moving at like half a mile per hour and just floating and like shooting like this slowest breaths of fire.
Yeah.
It was very boring. I felt like not a good presentation for that one, unfortunately. That's this winter. Then Astral Chain, we got more on that. Comes out August 30th. This is another Platinum game, the developers of Bayonetta. Doesn't pique my interest necessarily. I know a lot of people are excited for that one though. Empire of Sin, spring 2020. I don't really know. Oh, that was the mob one. That was the gangster one. That one actually looks okay.
Meh. I was like, is this just a Mafia on the Switch?
Yeah, if it's like a 3-player game, I might be more interested. But then we got more Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. What do you guys think of this? What's your read on this? Because it's a Marvel exclusive game to Switch, which is a pretty big deal. And a sequel to a series that used to be really popular.
The only fighter I've ever actually cared about is Smash. That's a new Smash.
Well, and this one is more in line with like a Gauntlet-esque.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
I just know the Marvel Ultimate Alliance has always been just a fighter.
Yeah,
so I don't know. We'll have to see when it like shows more gameplay, I guess.
Yeah, I'll wait and see on that for like what's the kind of read, because I'm not super interested. But that comes out next month, so that's pretty fast. Wow. And that's a big exclusive for Nintendo actually. Cadence of Hyrule got another teaser. Comes out June 13th. Then we got Mario and Sonic: The Olympic Games, November. It's cool this series is still alive and well, I guess. Yeah. I'm surprised they're still making
I never played the first one.
I really enjoyed the first one back in the day, but...
that was on the Wii?
The Wii, yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of the first Wii games, I feel like, and it was
It was probably a launch title with like Wii Sports.
Yeah, it was a huge deal at the time, too, because it was like, wow, Mario and Sonic are in a game together? And then now it's pretty standard because he's in Smash and stuff, but like at the time it was a huge deal.
It's cool to see him still.
When was Sonic announced to be in Smash? What game was it?
In Brawl. So on the Wii. It was 2007, 2008 when it came out. But
it's cool to see them making games like this.
Yeah. Then we got teaser for Animal Crossing. We got to see gameplay. I know this. Cool. I know this isn't necessarily our cup of tea, but I'm sure a lot of people.
It's huge. Like a lot of the people I work with are like, all they care about is Animal Crossing for Nintendo. And I'm just like,
so weird.
Why?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
It's strange.
You're an adult. What's wrong with you?
It's crazy too because I've seen like sales numbers for Animal Crossing, and it's honestly Nintendo's one of their most successful franchises. Like it makes more money than like Metroid and stuff. Like it's so weird.
Metroid, yeah, that's not surprising.
It's just so weird though. Like
I know.
I just don't get it personally. I'm maybe I'll try this one out if it's cheap one day or something.
Oh, speaking of it.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna show
gameplay
or something.
Which they were showing gameplay. The trailer was basically gameplay.
But the big disappointment with that, delayed to 2020, March 20th. I know a lot of people will be disappointed with that. But I don't care because we got some insane announcements right after this.
Oh my gosh. You guys were hyping.
My gosh. But we got Spyro coming to Switch finally.
Spyro Reignited trilogy.
That should have been right away.
Oh, I'll get that now because I've been waiting for that.
Yeah, same.
So it's gonna be $60 though, I bet.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
No.
You don't, at least full price.
No, the when Crash came to the Switch, it was only $40.
But that's because it was retail.
It was $40 when.
Hey, Mom, we are recording. But yeah, is the oven on? Parker, you turn it off.
Hey, Parker, you shouldn't just don't acknowledge it. Let's go. Let's keep going, because otherwise now I'm gonna have to cut this out. I know, but it would have been fine.
Okay. She would have kept yelling.
Drop a lucky egg.
Oh, I told Parker go turn off the oven.
Gift.
Okay, back on. Then we got looks like a bunch of montage of games that I'm not sure. We got Alien Isolation announced.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool, I guess. Super Lucky Tell. That's like another Microsoft game. I'm pretty sure coming to Switch, which led in perfectly to the next big reveal, which we get. I was so freaking excited because I was sitting there wondering, I'm like, are we gonna get another reveal? I don't think we will for Smash.
Yeah.
But my prediction was we would.
Oh my god!
And we get the cross logo, the slash, and it goes in, and we get the villain montage that we did last year for King K. Rool.
And we were already going nuts at this point. Me and Juan are freaking out, like another villain.
I was like,
no
way.
The villain alone would have been sick. So we were like, no way, another villain. And our brains, probably both of ours, were like going a million miles an hour. We're like, what is this? What the frick?
Dude, I literally could not. I was going.
Because immediately, for me, it was an immediate deconfirmation of the leak. Immediately. Like, as soon as we saw that, I was like, okay, well, no villains have been leaked and nothing with Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Well, and Tanner, so right away, it starts out with the villain montage. And they added King K. Rool with Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
But Tanner was like, it's going to be villain. And I'm like, you're right. Like, I don't know why I wasn't pressing that, but I was like, yeah, it's going to be villain because they're doing the villain montage.
But then it
was a fake
Donkey
out.
Kong again.
Because they opened up with the Donkey Kong trailer. The
exact same with him, like, yawning. But this time,
but King K. Rool's
in the room.
This was so cool. Like, what a great idea.
Sleeping.
What a great idea for a trailer. And we're like, no, what is happening?
And also,
I don't think either of us. For a second, I was like, "Is it going to be Dixie?"
Well, because we were yelling at this point. We were yelling.
I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, because we were yelling at this point, and I looked over at you, but I had glanced out of my corner of my eye a gold thing bounce across the screen.
Yeah.
Now my dream,
I thought it was a banana when I first watched.
See, for me, my dream and what I wanted to see was a Jiggy. So I called out, "It's a Jiggy!
Yeah,
it's a Jiggy!"
Yeah.
And then we were like, "No way!"
It was
that's when we started screaming.
It was one of those things that was like when you said it was a Jiggy, I was like,
"No way!"
I thought, I was like, I think this is Tanner a pipe dream. I think he thought he saw something, but really it was just a banana
I actually did too because I wasn't even looking at the screen fully. I was like looking like this.
Well, me and you were like high-fiving, we were getting pumped.
And then because we even just for that it was Smash.
Yeah.
And then literally once as soon as they showed.
Well, here's the thing. It clicked even before they showed Duck Hunt for me.
Oh, even no
for
me,
us.
like literally because as soon as I saw the Jiggy and I started saying Jiggy, because then it started clicking. Because Connor's like rare.
If they would have showed the shadow of Banjo.
They did.
And they're. I know. That's what I'm saying. If they would have showed the shadow and then just didn't have it.
Oh my
gosh, dude.
People would have been
livid. Oh my gosh, no, livid.
They would have pissed people off like no other. Because here's the thing. Banjo, just like King K. Rool, has been one of the most anticipated characters.
Oh, yeah.
So they did the same thing with King K. Rool. They made you think, oh, it's King K. Rool, but it was just King Dedede.
Right.
And then King K. Rool punches him.
Well, and so like they all go up to the window and they're like,
this time with K. Rool.
And you see the shadow of a bird.
Real fast. What an amazing freaking callback for Nintendo. Nintendo is so good.
Own trailer.
Sakurai is so good because Rare made Banjo Kazooie and the Donkey Kong Country games. They invented King K. Rool.
King K. Rool. And so it was a perfect homage to Rare.
It was
because
so
like
perfect.
That Connor called that out. I wouldn't have been nearly as excited before they showed Banjo because once I said Jiggy, I was still questioning it. But then Connor said because it's rare. Because it's rare. And we were freaking out. I'm like, it's no way. And we knew at that point before they even showed the shadow.
Gosh.
And then all of a sudden I see they show the shadow, and at this point I already knew it was Banjo.
Yeah.
Because like I was like 100% they're not gonna ruin it for it. They're not gonna fake you out like this.
Yeah.
You know?
No way.
And so I was like, we were already high fiving, and then as soon as they showed Duck Hunt, I knew.
as soon as they showed the shadow, I was like, it's gonna be Duck Hunt. They're gonna fake us out.
I didn't know it was gonna be Duck Hunt.
Because I just remembered the. The Donkey Kong the King K. Rool reveal trailer. Yeah. I remembered that, so I'm like, they're gonna do the same thing.
The only reason I didn't like I almost thought that they were gonna like not do a fake out this time and it was actually gonna be Banjo. But so it showed the shadow of the bird and then it shows a silhouette of obviously Banjo, but somehow turns into Duck Hunt.
Amazing.
Like, ooh, and he's kind of doing his Duck Hunt thing, like, you know, and then he gets hit by a, like, whatever. Like
did Rare make Duck Hunt?
No,
but they just are similar because it's a bird and like a dog.
He gets hit by like something like boom from top, and then Banjo comes coming in like and then lands, and it's freaking sick.
So good. It's crazy to me that somehow they can still make these trailers so hype and make me so hyped for them. Because like I thought after King K. Rool was revealed, I thought there wasn't a chance I'd ever be as hyped as I was for another character. You know, like because I was hyped for King K. Rool. But I feel like they just keep doing it, like with Banjo Kazooie. Oh my gosh, it's
like
insane.
Pipe dream, like that's what I said.
I've never seen people panic at the screen so much.
We said in the predictions for E3, we literally both said it's a pipe dream. There's no way this is gonna happen. This is like in the perfect world there would be Banjo. We were like, oh, this is not.
My question is now is how are they gonna top this? Like
they can't with the DLCs. Like
for the next two,
can't.
like
they literally.
So
can't.
we got the confirmation he's gonna be fall, which is cool. Like I wish it was a little sooner, but that makes sense.
He's the one after
my
the
hero or the hero,
which is cool. Like because like even if they announced like Steve, you know, it'd still be exciting, but like. It's gonna be hard to top Banjo.
Like,
at this point, because not only is it one of the most anticipated,
they're gonna have to go really crazy to top Banjo.
Yeah,
honestly,
like Kratos.
I can't imagine that the next two will be nearly as big. Like I feel like they're gonna be somewhat disappointments after Banjo. But
what if they do like Master Chief?
That's the thing. Like Master Chief, dude, it's possible.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's like anything's possible now.
And with them partnering up with Xbox, I mean, I could see Master Chief now.
For sure. Yeah. Me and Tanner, we'll talk more about that later. I'm sure we'll do a Smash cast, especially with all the Smash news. But
to end it
out, the final big reveal, I can't believe this freaking happened.
This was something that I had not... This wasn't like a prediction or a rumor or anything in my head whatsoever.
Yeah, no.
I didn't expect a new Zelda.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted it, but no way did I think
because that means we're getting 3 Zelda games this year.
Well, this one's
getting
not.
Cadence of, or 3 announcements.
3 announcements.
Cadence, Link's Awakening, and Breath of the Wild 2. Like, what the year of Zelda?
So this was crazy because the guy, he's like, you know, we have a bunch of games in development. Unfortunately, we can't really show them, but I do have one surprise for you. And he kind of whispered, and I turned to you guys and I was like, are they going to do like Odyssey 2? Super Mario Odyssey 2? Because I was thinking that seems more likely.
And what I was saying was, Banjo Kazooie's remastered on the Switch because they just showed Banjo and it's a new render of Banjo. So I was like, okay, they're announcing him alongside the games.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, definitely not.
Yeah, so it starts and we get like this weird green mist with like writing. And for a second...
Just saying, I immediately called out Zelda.
Yeah, Tanner immediately
I'm like, Zelda.
And see, I wanted it to be Zelda, but in my mind, I'm like, there's no way it is.
Already?
So I was like,
especially already?
I was like, no way. And so I was like, I bet you it's like Bayonetta 3. I'm like, a Bayonetta 3.
I could see it too because it had the mist thing.
Yeah.
And like the red, there was like red.
Yeah, there was a lot of like visual cues that looked similar-esque. Because it was like this underground like resurrection chamber.
When I heard like the sounds of like a Midna or like something like that from like Twilight Princess.
But then we get the big reveal, which it pans over and we see Zelda. Like I think she's on like a horse or something. I got to go back and watch this. But
yeah, it shows them like on a horse or like something going up the cliff, the cliffside. And then we see like this old dead like zombified witch thing.
Yeah, it looks like
spirals coming out of her.
See, I thought it was gonna be DLC.
Yeah, and Tanner did too.
We were both calling out DLC. I was like, we were both saying, there's no way it's a new game.
Yeah.
No way.
The reason why I knew it couldn't have been, or at least I didn't think it would be, because they announced like they were done with DLC for Breath of the Wild. Well, that doesn't mean they couldn't have lied, but I was like, I think this is a new game.
The one thing that almost confirmed me that I was going to be DLC, which I thought, is when they showed the out view of Hyrule. It was the exact Hyrule from Breath of the Wild, so I'm like, oh yeah, it's a DLC.
Yeah.
But then like, nope, it's a sequel, which is freaking huge. I mean, like, because the trailer ended, we didn't get too much. You know, it was a cinematic, which is, like I was going to bring up, a full cinematic cutscene. Unlike Metroid Prime 4, unlike Elder Scrolls 6, unlike some of these games that have no hope for any sort of soon release date.
Yeah.
We got a full cinematic, and not only that, like, it showed a lot. It showed the entire thing and Hyrule. You know?
Yeah.
And then it also said in development for the Switch.
I'm thinking 2021. I know you are a bit more hopeful about it.
The only reason I'm thinking holiday next year is because, think about it, like, we got about the same amount of news for the Scarlet as we did with Breath of the Wild. And the Scarlet's coming out next year. A whole new console. You know, with Halo Infinite. With Halo Infinite, it's the same way. Just a cinematic.
I mean, if you think they use just the Breath of the Wild engine and they already have the assets, they could potentially.
I doubt that it's gonna be the big, huge, like, next gen Zelda.
Yeah, it's gonna be like.
Look, like I said,
it's gonna be Majora's Mask to.
It's gonna be Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword was Twilight Princess. They both came out for the Wii.
Gameplay wise, yeah.
What I'm saying is like they were basically the same gameplay and like around the same universe, like almost like they were connected in a universe. It's almost like Zelda Switch's universe.
I would say more so with like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask though, because they were like literally the same Link.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like as far as like gameplay.
Yeah.
You know, and even like a console. I've noticed they almost come out with 2 Zelda games each console, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're usually pretty similar as far as gameplay. This one's for that, you know? And the truth is, the Switch came out 2 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
All the new companies are making new consoles. I say we see a new Switch or something if next year or even the next year.
Like a revision?
Like, it's going to be soon.
Yeah.
We've already had a 2-year, almost 3-year life cycle now of the Switch, you know? We're getting to where, like, the Switch is getting to where it's not going to be able to compete nearly with the Scarlet and the PS5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to have to do it.
I don't think it's competitive to those.
No way, yeah.
I mean,
so
yeah,
it's just a complete.
It's its own thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Nintendo's accepting.
And Nintendo owns that handheld market, so I mean they don't really need to compete at this time. But yeah, we'll wrap up real fast. I know you need to go. But yeah, this was the moment.
Even if I have to leave and you keep talking about it.
No, we'll wrap it up now because we're done. But yeah, this for me, like Banjo Kazooie and Breath of the Wild, made Nintendo.
A 5-minute period of a 45-minute.
My favorite Nintendo
best
conference, not ever, but like
in my opinion,
my gosh,
best
so
5
good.
minutes of E3.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, the last 5 to 10 minutes of this conference, some of my favorite Nintendo or E3 moments ever.
Yeah, it'll be up there. It's like something I'll remember. For years to come, you know, like the way they ended the. Oh my gosh!
And I'm so glad they revealed Banjo at E3. That was the perfect way to do it. But anyway, Tanner's got a jet. Stick around, or not? No, stick around. Me and Hasten will also be doing Square Enix and Ubisoft,
which is good because all recap. I know is about Avengers.
Yeah, but we thank you guys for joining us. Banjo Kazooie hype. Let's freaking go. Breath of the Wild 2 hype. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.